have the dough in your hands to make the famous Balistreri's pizza.
Yes, I do.
And where did the dough, what did the dough go through prior to this point?
Prior to this, we mixed in 50-pound batches. So it's our special recipe. Once it's mixed, we let it rise. Then we'll punch it down, let it rise again, and then we will roll it out in specific sizes.
This doesn't sit and ferment. It just proofs.
It proofs
like a standard dough.
Yes, it proofs. Once it's rolled out, you'll see this is a sheeter that we use. We'll run the dough through twice, and to get it to the proper size, we'll cut off any imperfections, because if you don't, those are the spots that will burn. So you want to cut off those little imperfections, and then we make it, goes in the oven. The only difference with us is we do electric ovens, and the reason we do that is because of the volume that we do. Heat recovery is very important to us. Gas ovens, they don't recover as well. They need a lot more area to vent. We are pushed into real tiny spaces here, so we have to make the best of a bad situation, put it that way. But before, years ago, you would cook out regular stones, which were pretty much almost like concrete. But now they've come up with different formulations that are much more crack resistant. So right now we cook on ceramic and clay. It still looks like a stone, but the clay for even heating and the ceramic gives it its toughness. Ever since I've been doing it, we've always had a shaker.
Well, that's convenient.
And the reason being is this recipe doesn't lend itself very well to hand tossing, because it's a little more rigid. It's not as elastic, but that's what gives it its.
That's also what gives it the
cracker crust.
Yeah.
So you send it through one way, send it through the next way. So that's almost the perfect size of a medium, like you said, that I just cut. Get some imperfections off. And because we cook on a stone and we want to insulate the pizza a little bit, we use cornmeal. We use a coarse cornmeal.
And that allows it to move it in and out.
And we can move it around. So it insulates the crust from cooking too quickly, but then if we want to get it crispier, we'll move it right off the cornmeal and go right on the stove. This is their special formulation of our pizza sauce.
And is there a certain amount of sauce that needs to go on this to be consistent?
Yes, this will be, we'll put approximately 8 ounces on a medium, maybe about 10 to 11 ounces on a large, and a round will be maybe about 4 to 5 ounces.
And eventually you get so good at it
Then we
that you know exactly how much that is.
Exactly. Then we season with oregano. Now this cheese is made special for us. It's a Wisconsin cheese. It's made by Foremost Farms, and it's to our own spec. 4% milk fat mozzarella.
And when most people think of pizza, they think of shredded cheese.
It's in block form, and then we actually cut it and grind it. So it comes in 5-pound blocks.
But this particular texture melts a little bit differently.
It's really good for even melting.
Maybe melts a little bit slower.
It's just the formulation itself. It's a much creamier cheese. It's got a lot of butter fat to it, so that's what gives it kind of its really good nutty flavor.
I look at we're hand pinching. See? The sausage.
And out of all the guys here, everybody will do it a little bit different.
And this is your recipe for sausage as well.
Right now, Vince Carini makes our sausage. He's a local sausage maker, but this is our recipe. Back in the day, we had the one guy that did it initially with us was Tony Siever.
Okay.
He has since passed on, and his family kind of got out of the business. So over time, we had to find sausage makers that we knew were quality enough to do our product. All of our pizzas we make in a certain format, a certain way, and we always will have the sauce, the cheese, the sausage comes next. And it will always be olive, mushroom. If it has green pepper, it'll be green pepper, onion, and then pepperoni at the end. And then if they want anchovy, that's the final thing. And then tomato will be last also. Now, the original recipe always had canned mushrooms, but we do offer fresh mushrooms also. So
going way back.
Way back, fresh mushrooms were so expensive and scarce that you always did the canned mushroom.
Well, I was going to say, there's a distinctive flavor about a canned mushroom that a lot of people associate with pizza.
There you go. So the pizza's done and ready to go in the oven. Since we put it on cornmeal, it's very easy to take off. It goes right in the oven.
So we're in the kitchen with Jim Balistreri, who has been around long enough to know the story behind this very, very special pizza.
Part of the character.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you worked there for many years?
Well, I worked there until I went in the Army. I was drafted and I went in the Army for 2 years.
Okay.
I came out, and 2 years after I was out of the Army, I went in partnership with a partner, and we opened our first restaurant.
Okay.
And that was on 49th and Hampton.
Okay.
48th and Hampton.
48. Okay.
And a year later, we opened on 49th and Burleigh on a Monday, 68th and Wells on a Tuesday, 162nd and National on a Wednesday.
Okay.
With 100 brand new employees that we didn't know.
Wow.
So that was interesting. And we did that for about 2 years, and then we split up, and I kept the restaurant at 68th and Wells.
68th and Wells,
Yeah.
which is still there.
And we're still there.
Which is still the oldest Balistreris now to exist with the name.
Right.
Okay.
And then we opened here 27 years ago, Tom?
Yep.
27 years ago, we opened on Bluemound.
How did you inherit the pizza crust from Caradero?
Well, I kind of was taught. I mean, I was a good worker, and I learned the business by taught everything.
You were in the
kitchen.
You were in the kitchen.
I was in the kitchen.
And so
we made our own little changes to make it out. So.
Okay. Yeah. And has there's 4 or 5 places that have the connections to the Caradero Club.
Those were different owners at different times after I was gone.
Yeah. So what do you think it was about it that made it what people call the Milwaukee-Style pizza? Is it simply longevity?
Oh, I was just going to say that. That's what it is, longevity. It's like we have our original customers and their children and their grandchildren, now their great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
Have you changed much about the pizza, how you make it, the recipe?
Not at all.
Okay.
No. Just our ovens, we went to a better type of oven, I'm not sure, probably about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
I wear my Balistreri shirts all the time, and people are always coming up to me. Oh, we just love your restaurant. I've been going there since I was a little kid. They're my age.
You eat these pizzas?
I sure will.
Too much cheese. Delicious.